Q2. Actually, the box there, that's the box, and these are the whiskers. But typically on these, we also put two things. On the right hand side, I'm going to put Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR, and Q3 plus 3 times IQR. And those numbers do not have to be within the range of the data. So it could be something like this. Let's call this O3, maybe somewhere here, O4, somewhere about here, O1. I'm going to call this O0. And on the left hand side, I'm going to do Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR, Q3 minus 3 times IQR. And if you're thinking about what's that, 1.5, for a normal distribution, IQR is about 135, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the roundest number, close to that. A lot of things in stats are basically convention. There's not necessarily a good reason for that, other than convenience. If a data point lies beyond, let's talk about the right-hand side first, beyond Q3 plus 3 IQRs, we call that an outlier, okay? In fact, for a normal distribution, you would never see anything beyond that. I mean, you could, but it's extremely unlikely. Anything above 1.5 IQRs, but less than 3 IQRs, that is considered a unusual value. It happens, but it doesn't happen that often. Outliers are just way out there. Again, same thing applies to the left-hand side. So let's kind of look at our data here, and let's calculate those to give us a rough idea about the tail behavior. We're going to talk more about those next week, but at least before I send you guys home today, let's get that. I have Q1, Q3. Actually, let me do those in order. Let me call this, let's call this low out, low uno for unusual, Q1. It's kind of another kind of 5-number summary. High uno, high out. Quartile, all of that. I'm gonna hit F4, but I'm gonna hit it once more so that I fix the rows but leave the columns. Actually, I'm gonna make red format of that. The reason I did that, I can easily change this into 3. And I'm gonna make that green. Dark green. Now we already have our IQR here. So high unusual is Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR, F4, F4. Try for all of these. Okay, it's the same format. I hit F4 twice. That's a shortcut way of fixing only the row reference, but not the column, because I want to be able to drag them to the right. But since I've done that and I copy this formula, the only thing I have to change is instead of 1.5, I'm going to use plus 3. And unless I'm horribly mistaken, low unusual is Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. Again, let's fix the reference. Okay. And I'm gonna simply drag them. Maybe I should also do the min, max, as you know, min is, as far as Excel is concerned, the 0th quartile. And the max is the 4th quartile. Like the 100th percentile. Well, that's the largest ever, right? Now let's kind of think about this. Remember, these dispersion measures I have here, I have not turned them into an APR. These are pure weekly return numbers, okay? So during this about 10 years, I have data for, yes, I am into sentence with a proposition, deal with it. And I don't know the fascination of people with that. For example, for Wu, during this last 10 years, there was 1 week where the stock market, remember this is S&P 500, we're not talking about an individual stock. It lost 14.5%. If I actually look for that, I'm sure I'm going to find that it is in during COVID times. And I will kind of show you how to get that. On the other hand, there was also week, it made 12% in 1 week. Well, let's think about it. On the right-hand side, the Q3 plus 3 IQR is less than 8.5%. That means there are a lot of data points that are in between, okay? So those are outliers on the right-hand side. There's even probably more of an issue on the left-hand side. The value of the boundary for what we call an outlier and the actual minimum is almost double in terms of absolute value. And you should not necessarily rely on this. We could actually get the percentage of values that are outliers on both ends. Let me see if I remember my function correctly. Let's call this low out percent. I mean, this is the stuff I should not see at all if data is normally distributed. Let's see what percent of data is in there. There is a function called COUNTIF,